Hey everybody, it's Ilya and I'm back with another motivational video. So, as usual, this is the Especialito. I will read it in Spanish and then I will translate. Siempre hay una solución para cada problema. Solo necesitas ser creativo y persistente. So for every problem, there is a solution. You just have to be creative and persistent. And of course, that is very true. Is it easier said than done? Oh, of course. I mean, creativity. For a lot of us, it's hard to think outside the box when you're overwhelmed with problems. You know, problems can come from all kinds of directions. They can come from different areas. They can be from your job, relationship, family life, monetary problems, health problems and issues, friendships. You know, it's sky's the limit, really, of problems. You know, sometimes there's more problems than solutions. Sometimes there's just more problems than good things coming your way, or so it seems, or sometimes that's how it feels. Sometimes it feels like everything's just snowballing to the point where you're just like, just throw your hands in the air and like, what is going on with the world? But, you know, if you are creative and persistent, yeah, those problems can go away or they can be resolved. It might take some time. Sometimes 9 times out of 10, that's usually the way. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But sometimes, yeah, you just need to be a little bit creative, you know, kind of think outside the box, think like MacGyver. You know, sometimes there are things that are easier to be MacGyverish with than others. Like for me, whenever it comes to food, you know, if it's a new dish I need to create yet again because I can't eat it, you know, because it upsets my stomach, I have to turn on that MacGyver and see, okay, how can I switch this up? How can I change this dish where it tastes good and I can eat it? You know, what can I add? Sometimes, unfortunately, when it comes to stomach issues, it's a hit or miss. It's experimentation. And of course, when it goes wrong, you pay for it anyway, but at least you tried. And for me, that's always been, it's always been easier to think like MacGyver in those situations. Whenever it comes to food, changing it up, creating something new, or looking up a recipe and mixing it up with what I can eat. And I have not a whole book, but I have a ton of recipes that I've done that with over the years. And they've been some pretty damn good dishes. But when it comes to other things in life, problems, issues, it's a little bit harder. You know, it can be harder because it involves the heart. It can be harder because you don't see a way out. You know, when it comes to health issues, in my case, it's like, oh gosh, what am I supposed to do? But I know lately, as hard as it's been, I'm changing that voice. I'm changing how I react to things. Am I still falling back to how I used to think, you know, just like, oh my God, nothing ever goes right. Yeah, I falter, but it's better than it used to be. So now it's more like, okay, I have this problem. Okay, this happened again. All right, what can I do? How else can I get up and go? You know, I've had time and again, I repeat myself, with last year, with the biopsy that put me on the shelf, with the plantar fasciitis, major plantar fasciitis that put me on the shelf, with the torn ligament or whatever it was that was torn in the other foot, that again put me on the shelf. Then I started to say, okay, each time I would be like, okay, what can I do? With the biopsy, there was nothing I could do, literally. So once I was able to get up and go, I started doing some exercises here and there. Then the foot started again. Once I felt a little bit better, okay, what can I do? The other foot, oh, damn. Okay, what can I do? Then I had this issue where the doctor injured my vein. So I couldn't do anything. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. So I said, okay, what can I do? How can you be creative to get yourself moving, to get yourself active? You know, can you walk? Yes. Okay. Is my stomach up for a walk? Let's see. Can I do something? Because walking is good, but for my issues, you know, because I also have back and neck issues, that I need to do more. So I had to, what can I do? DDP Yoga. He's got so much in that app that, I mean, there was no way I wasn't going to be able to do something. So I did. But when you hulk it up, you know, you have to make that fist. What did I do? I modified. So a loose fist. Dynamic resistance? Yes. Did I tense the arm? Yes. Did I do it too much? No. So I was careful. So maybe that wasn't so MacGyver-ish, but it was creative. It's in a small way. Different things. Instead of having my feet on the mat, when I was really bad with my feet, I used my sneakers. So I was doing the rebuild chair force and then stand up in the rebuild section with my sneakers. That was something that I decided I have to do it this way because I can't do it with my bare feet or on the mat just yet. With this, I was doing things, but I was doing things a little bit differently, a little bit softer, but I was getting up and going, and I feel a lot better for it. I feel I'm starting to finally get back into that rhythm where last week I was able to do 4 days of exercise, and I'm back on my elliptical, not a big machine elliptical. It's this little stationary type of elliptical, and I've been able to do that, and it feels good. Taking things one thing at a time, day by day, trying to create different ways for me to get back up there, at least in the physical part, you know, when it comes to exercising and my body, the health and strength. When it comes to my stomach, that's been a little bit more tricky. I have been trying. I've had some issues. I've gotten better, but a lot of the improvements have been my own because of what I've done. Still looking, still searching. I've got a ton of books that I'm trying to look through, writing things down, trying to see what works, what doesn't, what can I afford to get, because veggies ain't cheap, at least not in New York. I mean, I'm sure that it's the same in other places too, but $8 for 2 peppers, huh, that is criminal. But it's also that persistence to keep going, to keep trying different things, whether it be a new recipe, whether it be a new exercise to get going, whether it be a new supplement or something else to take to make my stomach feel better, to get healthy, to heal the intestinal lining due to gastritis. So it's not only all those things. It can also be something, you know, like how do you fix that relationship? You know, how do you show that person love that they need? You know, be persistent in fixing that relationship, showing the love that maybe they're missing, or at work, be persistent of, you know, trying to get that promotion. How can you creatively change their minds, maybe showing a different side of yourself, you know, with a project or suggesting a project, or there's a number of things that you can try or do, but the key is to be persistent, because you really never know what can come out of that 80th time that you persist on that matter, whatever it is. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's not easy. Definitely not. I mean, I stopped doing videos for a while. I was like, oh, why bother? And, you know, if I'm feeling this crappy, what makes me think that I can help anybody else? But you never know. You know, I might be having a crappy day, but if I persist in all of this, not only will I feel better, but maybe it will help somebody else. So that's it. That's why I really like all of these motivations that they send out in the newspaper, the Especialito, because man, these are good. And you know what's funny is my mom cuts these out for me. she cuts these out for me. She's amazing. She loves it when I do these videos, and she's always pushing me like, oh, you should do it, you should do it. And here I am. I'm back on it again, and I'm really hoping that this time I'll be putting them in the can. And I got a new haircut too, so I look nice. That's so shallow, but I mean, I feel good. I feel the weight has been lifted from all that deadened hair that I had for so long. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next week for another motivational video.